Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, words my brethren all across the world watching this video. Hope you're having a great day today. Wherever you're tuning in from, do yourself a damn favor, hit the subscribe button, and surely you will not be disappointed. Let's get into it. Kell Brook, fight week, Matchroom Boxing. Kell Brook be fighting Michael Zerafa, all right? Not the best or most intriguing matchup in the world. That's putting it lightly. Obviously, we want to see Kell Brook in bigger fights. But it is worth noting, all right? It is worth noting, and it will be noted, that, just basically like, hold on, make sure. Basically, this is, in many ways, IBF, or not IBF, WBA eliminator at 154. Kell Brook is ranked number 2 in the WBA at 154. Michael Zerafa is number 8 in the WBA at 154. So Kell Brook wins this fight. You're looking at him potentially being the mandatory to Jarrett Swift Hurd, and that could be a route he goes down the line. And I would love to see that. Personally, like for me, it's no secret if you've been following my channel for the last couple of years, I love Kell Brook. I think Kell Brook is great. I think he's a fantastic fighter. I think he deserves all the respect in the world. He lost 2 big fights, but he's also won big fights. And he's given boxing fans a lot of great moments. Whether you love him or hate him, he's given fight fans a lot of great moments. And I think there's still some great moments for him to give to the sport. He's recently hooked up with the new trainer. For those of you who don't know, John Fuchs, who was actually a pro himself. Fuchs was a decent domestic level fighter. He was 21, 2-2, 2 knockouts. Didn't really hit that world level, but good technical boxer. Kell Brook and him fought a couple times in the amateurs from what I was researching, and I watched a couple interviews. Fuchs won one of they had 3 fights. Fuchs won one of them. Kell Brook won twice. And now he's teaching Kell how to train. And honestly, Kell, I watched a lot of Kell Brook interviews. He looks like he's genuinely obviously he's kind of pissed off about the whole Amir Khan situation, but he seems to be happy that but it's about boxing, and that's what you want, man. Hopefully for him, he should win this fight against Zerafa. Once he does that, assuming, don't want to disrespect Zerafa, but once he does that, I would like to see him, he needs to make a decision on his career. Either A, he's going to attempt to dominate 154 and be a powerhouse, be a power player in that division. Because now he'll be able to fight a guy like a Jarrett Swift Hurd, who truthfully, people are high on Jarrett Hurd now. I think Kell could beat Jarrett Hurd straight up. I'll go right on record and say right now, Jarrett Hurd is good. Jarrett Hurd is proven. Jarrett Hurd for sure is the #1 guy in the division. But let's make no mistakes about it. We saw it in his last fight when he fought Jason Wellborn. Jason Wellborn's a pillow puncher, straight up pillow puncher. He came to fight. He put some pressure on Jarrett Hurd, and Kell Brook is a much more athletic fighter than Jason Wellborn. He's more explosive than Jason Wellborn, and forget 154. Any weight class in boxing, if we're making in terms of straight combination punches in boxing, Kell Brook will be in the top 10 to 15 best combination punches in boxing, any weight class right now, no doubt about it. So when you look at those things, I think he'd match up very well with Jarrett Hurd. I don't think he's someone you just write off against Jarrett Hurd. So I personally, for me, I'd rather see him go that route. If he's not going to try to fight those big names, 147, then go that route, fight at 154, which has actually really been the weight class people have been saying for years you should fight in, and do your thing there. But that's another video. That's another discussion for another time. As far as fight with Zerafa, Zerafa is a fighter that a couple years ago, if most fight fans, forget American fight fans, just fight fans in general, we only know Michael Zerafa for 2 things. One, we know him because he went up and he fought Peter Quillin at 160 a couple years ago. Got starched, got disposed of, and got ultimately put on a stretcher. It was a gross mismatch, probably one of the worst mismatches PBC has ever put on. And people knew that going into the fight. Everybody knew that because the dude was not ranked anywhere, anywhere. He wasn't ranked anywhere. And Peter Quillin dealt with him as you would expect him to deal with him. But since then, Zerafa has been, fighting in Australia against domestic level opposition because he's right now his record currently sits 25-2 with 14 KOs. He literally since the Quillin fight, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's had 8 fights since the Peter Quillen fight. He's won all of them, and he's won about half of them by stoppage victory. So you would be led to believe that he's going to come in here with a lot of confidence, definitely a lot of motivation. Because I mean, you're fighting Kell Brook, a guy that if you beat him, all of a sudden you're 8 in the WBA. You can be talking about fighting Jarrett Hurd, and you can be pushing on for those big fights. And all of a sudden, you're not looked at as a guy who was a part-time stripper who got knocked out by Peter Quillen and put on the stretcher. The whole perception of you will slowly begin to change. And it's a big, big opportunity for Michael Zerafa. So I'm sure he's going to do his best, and we'll see what happens. But I believe if they both fight at their best, Kell Brook should show his class, and he should defeat Michael Zerafa. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then after that, he needs to be pushing on for a Jarrett Hurd fight, or he needs to be fighting one of the big names at 147. If that's how he wants to go, just make a decision with your career and stick to it. Don't wait around for Amir Khan, because he's not waiting around for you. So that's my take on the fight. It's always good to see Kell Brook back in action. He really needs a fight against someone like Zerafa, because Zerafa has decent boxing skills, and Zerafa, I think, is the kind of fighter that he's not going to beat Kell Brook. I don't think he has the kind of power to hurt Kell Brook. But he's someone that I believe could give him quality rounds, which is something he desperately needs, because in his only fight this year, he fought Sergey Rabchenko, it only lasted 1 round. It literally only lasted 1 round, and he got him out of there quite quickly. So he needs the rounds. He needs that for his career moving forward. And not even just that, he's got a new trainer now in Fuchs, John Fuchs, and it'll even give them time to kind of get so I know they're familiar as friends and as amateurs, but it'll give them time to get familiar during the actual fight. Because that takes time to build too. The relationship between cornerman and trainer and fighter. So it's imperative that they get rounds in for this fight, and that's what you can hope for your Kell Brook. Good quality rounds. Aside from that, on this card, really, I'll be honest with you, the undercard is mainly just like a lot of just showcase fights. Eddie Hearn fights. You got Anthony Fowler in action versus a TBA. You got Kid Galahad fighting. You got let's see this Kid Galahad fight. Really, I'll be honest with you, the only notable fight on this entire card, besides the main event, the one that sticks out to me at least, is Josh Kelly in his ninth professional fight. He'll be stepping it up another notch, because his last 3 fights. He fought Carlos Molina, former world champion, on the Joshua Parker card, got him out of there, or outboxed him. Then he fought a decent the Commonwealth domestic level fighter, and Chris George. That was a good fight for him, because they're both from the Newcastle area, so it was a good little prospect domestic fight. But he was clearly the better fighter. Got him out of there relatively quickly, and then he fought a known welterweight. Let me see from right here. Oh, never mind. It's a different Walter Castillo. He fought Fabian Castillo. I was thinking he fought the Walter Castillo that fought Amir Imam. So he fought, kind of just a stay busy fight last month, actually, on the Bellevue undercard. And then now he's fighting David Avanesian, who many of us may remember for, he was a guy that beat the old Shane Mosley a couple years ago. And then he fought Lawan Peterson on the Broner Granados undercard. Lost to Peterson. So there's also a guy that he's coming off a loss against Kavaluskis in February. So, Avanesian has, he's kind of a solid gatekeeper type of a fighter. The kind of fighter that can give a guy like Kelly some good rounds and just keep his skills sharp as he continues to push onwards and upwards towards that next level in boxing. But really, aside from that, I'll be honest with you, it's just mainly showcase fights. It's pretty much like the norm for these matchroom cards, where the main event, usually get the main event is pretty good, but in this case, I think I don't think Brook and Zerafa will be competitive. And then the rest of it just showcase fights. Eddie Hearn kind of just building his fighters up and getting them in positions to challenge for world titles and things like that. So not really much going on in this card. For me, the most interesting thing about the card is seeing how Kell Brook looks under his new trainer, how he handles a guy like Zerafa who can box and move a little bit. And just him hopefully getting some quality rounds in, getting a sensational stoppage to end the fight. And then after that, I don't want to see Kell Brook, really. If he can't get the Amir Khan fight next, I don't think we need to talk about Amir Khan anymore. I want to see him start pushing for big fights in the 154-pound division. I think the Jarrett Hurd fight is something that he really needs to look into because I think he has a great chance against Jarrett. Great chance. Because I just from what I saw in Jarrett Hurd's last fight and just not even just his last fight, all his fights, he's an exciting fighter because he's vulnerable. Most of the time guys aren't exciting fighters if they're not vulnerable. And Jarrett Hurd is a very vulnerable fighter. He's not unbeatable. And he was talking about how he wants to work on his defense and stuff, but he's a guy that he doesn't operate that well if he's going backwards. He can't fight going backwards. And Kell Brook has the combination punching, the athleticism, the power, and the world championship experience and boxing IQ to really make Jarrett Hurd's life a living hell if he comes in, on point, on weight, and just with confidence. I think so at least. But that's my opinion. That's the card in general. Not really much going on. That's my little preview of the card. Let me know what you guys think about Kell Brook versus Michael Zerafa and anything else I may have missed on the card. Any observations that you may have, leave them in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every single video, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from doing it. So until next time, take care, guys.